Hello and welcome. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. My name is Gar Whaley. I'm the co-founder of Aligned Technology Solution, an MSP based here in Washington, D.C. Joining me today is Reed Johnston. He's the founder of TechGen, an MSP based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Reed and I belong to the same IT peer group, so we're always collaborating on different things. Reed, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So, what are we going to be talking about today?
Today, Reed, we're going to talk about four things. How do you know if you should outsource your IT? How do you know if you have the wrong MSP? How do you evaluate and find an MSP? And how does working with the right MSP provide ROI? We promise to keep it to less than 15 minutes, questions included. Think we can stick to that, Reed?
Yeah, I think so. So, I'll get started with the first one. How do you know if you should outsource your IT management? The biggest thing is you've got an employee that's wearing multiple hats in your organization, and one of those hats is the IT hat. They're doing a bunch of different things, but not doing any of them really, really well. Along those same lines, finding the right talent, hiring the right people to take care of your technology can be challenging. You might also be losing sleep over cybersecurity. Maybe your internal person is doing a great job at helping put out fires, fixing those printers, but they don't know a thing about cybersecurity. They don't know a thing about the threats that are happening in this day and age. You might have older systems too, older servers, older computers that are way past their life cycle and need to be upgraded. And those are the things that are holding you back. They're preventing your business from growing.
That's great, Reed. So, two stories just real quick that illustrate some of the bullet points you just laid out there. Our first client is still a client today. It's a nonprofit, and they had about 50 employees and one IT person, jack of all trades, so to speak. He was irritated one day and literally walked out with the passwords. So my business partner Don was actually called in as a consultant to try to to try to save the day, which he did. But part of saving the day was to find a managed service provider, an outsourced IT provider partner, so that wouldn't happen again. And that's actually how we began our company. That was our first client. They're still a client today. Another example is we have a client. They have a CTO and 3 to 5 IT folks. Several of them are developers and are revenue generating. The other folks are IT infrastructure support. The CTO was sort of frustrated because he had to hire a new help desk technician every year because the person would grow and then would want to leave because they wanted to do bigger and better things. Pardon me. So he engaged us to come in a co-managed way, so that when that next help desk person wanted to leave, he wouldn't have to rehire. And as we went through the course of our relationship, that help desk person did end up leaving. It was about a year later. And then we were able to just come in and do a full managed service provider agreement and take care of everything for them. So that person left. Make sense, Reed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that takes us sort of to the next thing, which is how do you know if you have the wrong MSP or the wrong IT partner? And it goes back to something you said earlier, Reed. The first warning sign is worried all the time. I think you said something like that above, right?
Yep, about cybersecurity.
Yep. So if you're worried all the time about IT and that's not your job, you probably have the wrong IT partner, the wrong MSP. Another telltale sign, and what I get calls for frequently, is poor customer service. Folks don't answer the phone. There's very slow response. When they do pick up, it's a person that can't help you, and it needs to be dispatched to somebody else. Another reason to think you might have the wrong MSP is that they have weak or outdated security solutions, protocols, processes, and procedures. In today's day and age, you need the most modern cybersecurity solutions and procedures that are out there. Also, if you start to when your MSP or IT provider makes recommendations to you about how to build and grow your IT stack, if they have, when you ask reasonable questions about those solutions, if they have a defensive posture about uh, their responses to you and asking reasonable questions, that might be a little bit of a warning sign too. And if last, I think, Reed, is if you're always trying to, if you feel like they're always trying to sell you something out of their toolbox, if there's always a new thing that they're trying to sell you, that also could be a warning sign. Do those make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great examples of why you might have the wrong MSP. So the next logical question is how do you evaluate and find the right MSP? We've got a checklist. It's on our website. We're going to send it out to all the participants here today. But the first thing that you want to do is define for you, for your organization, what a good MSP looks like for your specific needs. You're going to have specific hardware, software, services that you're trying to provide your clients. You need an MSP that's really going to partner with you, which takes me into the second thing. It's really about the relationship. You have to like and trust your IT partner because IT is so critical to your business. It's so critical to the success that you can have.
In because I sort of head up our sales department. When they call, what I always share is it's really about the relationship. There's a lot of good MSPs out there, and there's a lot of companies. You really have to find somebody that you get along well with. So it's truly about the relationship. That's a great point. Brings us sort of to the last one, Reed, which is how does working with the right MSP provide ROI? I'll sort of hit that first, and if you have
Sure.
anything to add, jump in. First of all, wider pool of expertise. Um, you we have systems engineers, network engineers, we have cybersecurity analysts, we have help desk folks, project managers. For a company, between 30 and 150, it's impossible to have that breadth of expertise, and an MSP or the right IT outsource partner can bring that to you. Also, we can provide that level of expertise because those are shared resources amongst all our clients at typically a less expensive cost than you could do it yourself to bring it in. The second sort of bullet on ROI comes from the tool set. Typically, an IT provider, an MSP, is going to bring a tool set with them: antivirus, remote monitoring and management, EDR, tools like that. They're going to be included with the package. So the spend that you'll make for an IT outsourced engagement is going to be cheaper, not only in terms of employees or headcount, but also in terms of and tools. Along those lines, of course, economies of scale. Generally, an IT provider that's buying and providing solutions for a number of clients can get economies of scales when they're buying those solutions and pass that cost along to their clients. And then my favorite one, and maybe yours is too, Reed, is that unlike an employee or two employees, an IT partner generally doesn't take PTO. We're open every day, so you have that going for you. I mean, I'm sure you've shared that before as well.
Yeah, we're 24/7. We don't get sick. We don't go on PTO. We're always here for our clients.
That's a good one. So that sort of sums up the four things we wanted to talk about today, Reed. I think the one I'd highlight as a takeaway from this, for me, is it's really about the relationship. Like any outsourced CFO, an outsourced HR person, you really have to have a good relationship. So look for the relationship first. Any other sort of highlights you want to leave, Reed?
No, that sums it up. You can go to our website if you'd like more information. We've got a bunch of blog posts and pages about the topics we talked about today. And feel free to reach out to us if you've got questions or want more detail. So thanks for watching today.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Reed.